The following episode contains language and descriptions of violence and self-harm. It may not be appropriate for all listeners, but it was my life. Discretion is advised. What up, what up? Welcome back to another episode of Roll Call with Chappy. I got another special guest for you guys. My boy Matty Ice has his own podcast, and I'm going to let him introduce himself to you guys, though, so do it, my man.
All right, guys. Matty Ice Show. I'm sure if you guys are in Arizona, you've heard of the show at some point. Last year, we won Podcast of the Year with Arizona Trending Awards, brought to you by Don Miliano, Matt Mills, and Arizona Baddies Club.
Yeah, shout out to Don Mills.
Yep. So,
and you for getting that award. I was a little jealous when I saw it, but I was happy for you to get it. That's why I said we're coming for it this year.
So, last year was a special year. I work with, Weasel was a big part of it, the Kaleidoscope Kid. You got to have a good team to execute the way we did last year. And it was, I did like 250 interviews last year.
Yeah. And
I actually, not for you, you've always been doing a great job. Like you and a few other people have always been like, okay, these are the guys I'm watching. You know what I mean? Jack O'Hara even. Yeah. You, just a couple other guys.
Jack's actually really good. A lot of people said that was I've done probably 100 podcasts. A lot of people told me that was my favorite interview I've ever done is with the Jack O'Hara show.
He's a great interviewer.
Yeah.
He's a great interviewer. Great interviewer, and he runs a good platform. Besides that, this year, let me get back to 21 really quick. 21 was just a really special year. I did so much. I worked with so many brands. I was traveling around, going to running the whole media for the Boosie Bash and, going to Vegas 4 times a year to run different seminars, working with Maybach Music Group and Bel Air, and then going to Ethica headquarters. Like, we were just moving around. Yeah. And I had artists flying in from all over the country numerous times. A majority of the artists weren't even from here in Arizona.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was super dope. But we've had some big moments on the show this year as well.
Yeah.
So we've had viral moments this year.
Yeah.
News article moments, from people picking up press and stuff like that.
I'm gonna just throw a little shout out here to obviously always my boy Mario Cannon, but dude, one of my favorite ones I saw on yours that really got me on your shit was B-Dot.
Yeah, B-Dot. And actually B-Dot. B-Dot's crazy.
That fool's freestyles is like, I'm like, if you could connect me to him, dude, that dude, it was like, I would watch this shit again. I was like, Jesus Christ, that fool flows.
So Dot's come on the show a few times. He just got back from overseas. And it's funny that you said that because me and Dot have been talking all week. Dot was supposed to come and do another freestyle actually on Tuesday, yesterday. Our schedule's kind of been all over the place.
Right.
So he's coming back next week and Dot's gonna drop some bars again.
Oh, I might have to fucking sneak my ass up in that studio with you there, then, bro.
People don't know too. He won the celebrity basketball game before. Did
he really? Yeah, I saw he was a ball. Is that what he was doing overseas?
Overseas, yep. And he won the celebrity game basketball contest here. He's very very. That's not a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that. All right, so what was it like growing up for you though, bro?
Growing up, I grew up in the suburbs of Illinois. Pretty normal childhood,
What do you not say Chicago because it's not even near Chicago or what?
I grew up in, it's very, especially.
I don't know nothing about this, but Mario tries to trip on this all the time.
Well, dude, yeah, being, and this is a big Chicago thing, an Illinois thing, and a hip hop thing. I'm saying I'm not from the city of Chicago.
Okay.
I'm from Illinois. Now, I'm from Illinois, meaning I still went to the city of Chicago like 2 or 3 times a week. How many people went to the city of Chicago like 2 or 3 times a week? So for me, I didn't grow up in the inner city or in a bad area in the city or anything like that, but I know the city very well. Cool. I mean, I would live there for 27 years. So it's like going from here to, it's a 40-minute drive from my house. So that's what it was.
So here to Peoria.
There you go.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So what was it like growing up out there then in Illinois for you, bro?
It was a normal childhood. I wasn't the easiest kid probably to deal with. I got in trouble a lot in school, I was the class clown. I
feel like all alpha males are like that though in school, right?
Yeah, I didn't do well. I didn't do well with direction and people telling me what to do, and I hated my teachers and I hated them. I didn't do well with listening to people. To be real with you, that was my biggest problem.
I still don't.
Me too. I try to listen to the right things and do the right moves now and not make the wrong moves. I was definitely. I got kicked out of high school because I pushed my friend in a pool. Like that type of shit. I went to this high school called Stevenson High School, and it was like one of the best high schools in the country.
Okay.
Like 5,000 kids. My graduating class was like 1,200 kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
so
big.
it was a big fucking school. But I was a big time troublemaker, so I went to Budsman.
Okay, is that like alternative school?
Yeah, Budsman's an alternative school. I went to Budsman. But with me, bro, I was a worker.
Okay.
So for me, like, I like to make money. I was working at this place called Iguana, which was like the biggest EDM mixtape store in the city. And if you know, like, Chicago, like, EDM and the dance scene is very big. So I was very involved in the clubs and like the EDM scene at a young age. But then at 18 years old, I took a job with T-Mobile, became a regional manager. I had 4 stores. So for me, like, it was always like I was working. I was a worker. Like, I wasn't I had good direction as far as like business sense. I just fucking hated school.
Yeah, same. I liked it.
Yeah. So like pretty much, I was working through T-Mobile for 4 or 5 years, and
doing sales pretty much.
Doing sales. I was a regional manager.
Sales is good though. I feel like sales can teach you a lot of shit about life. I feel like everybody should always have a sales job at some point in life.
Yeah, I'm great in sales. So I was doing that, and it's just, I think after that I just moved out here at 27 years old.
So you did T-Mobile and then moved out here from that?
T-Mobile and moved out here.
What made you choose Arizona?
My whole family's lived out here for many years. My grandparents lived out here for like...
So you had ties to both states?
Yeah, I've been coming back and forth here for the holidays for many years.
So finally you're like, I'm out of Chicago.
I'm out of Chicago. Like, don't get me wrong, I kind of miss it a little bit now. There's certain things I miss about it. And I've been in Arizona now for almost 8 years. So not that I'm like getting sick of Arizona too, but like, I've been here for 8 years now. And like, there is a few pieces of things I miss in Chicago and stuff like that. I plan on going home soon. I do miss the city, the inner city, that kind of life, but I do love the weather here. I love being so close to California, being close to Vegas, especially being close to Vegas. I think that's fucking dope. Yeah. So, no.
The weather's the worst thing though, bro. Like I could never ever do that Chicago.
It's crazy, and that's the problem. Once you live here and you experience what real weather's like and what it's like, you don't want to go back to that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how was the transition to Arizona? What did you do at first out here?
So when I first moved out here,
and I was like, did you have a game plan? Because a lot of people always want to make change in life, but they're scared they don't have the entire thing planned out or the perfect right time. Did you have it all planned out, or were you just like, I'm gonna get out here to Arizona and figure it out? Because here's another thing. I always say, Ed Milet says this too, but it's like, you could use this analogy to anything in life, and they always say like, get in the room and you figure it out later. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I would use that analogy for out here. Did you plan on just getting out here?
So I own a radio broadcasting company, and we broker airtime. So I do that.
Okay.
And that's always been a cool thing for me. I've been working for companies doing that for a long time, even in Chicago. So I'm doing that still. And I came out here doing that, so I already had the expertise working for myself. And that was always successful, and that kind of built my way. And then I would say about 3 years ago, I started the Matty Ice show.
Okay.
And that's when I really...
How did that come about? Did you...
So the first, I started the Matty Ice show. It was really based off of my passion for sports betting, actually.
Okay.
So the first few episodes, I was like, you know what? Let's make this like a sports platform, But I always loved rap and hip hop. Don't get me wrong. That was my always.
They go hand in hand, kind of. You know.
Always. What I mean? So I interviewed like big names to start. Athletes. Christian Kirk, who just got 2 touchdowns the other day with the Jaguars.
Yeah.
Byron Murphy, who just won the game for the Cardinals. Interviewed him. These are my first episodes. Antonio Brown.
You had AB on there?
I had AB on. I've actually interviewed AB twice.
No way. How is he?
That's a topic that
off-air conversation.
That's an off-air conversation at this point. I've got to experience him plenty of times, and I would say we'll talk about that off camera.
I like
just
that.
Because, and he would understand that as well at this point.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
But I actually interviewed Antonio Brown this year.
Really?
I interviewed Antonio Brown in February. I have a whole drop from him on my phone. I'll show it to you. Antonio Brown's endorsed this show numerous times.
Wow, and that was when he was on all.
I interviewed Antonio Brown at his hottest time when he was
I was just gonna say that was when he was all
Kanye
over.
Stuff, all this stuff with all of his viral stuff. Matter of fact, Antonio Brown, this is a fact, offered me a general management position for his record label, Cab Records. This was maybe about 8-9 months ago. He offered that to me, but things have now turned with me and him. So, and that's a subject that I don't air business details or shit out. I don't even air, bad things out about people on camera. No need for that.
Yeah.
So
we're good with the no comments.
Yeah, but it's not in the best place. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, for sure, of course. All right, so then where'd the show go then? You get these big names on.
So I got all these big names on, and I said, this is the thing. These athletes, they got nothing. Why the fuck are they want to interview with me? What's the point? I want to make money off my show too. Like, this is a business. Like, I want to elevate myself. I want to make money. Da 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 da. I was signed to Bang Energy. They gave me a contract right away. They were sponsoring the show. They were paying me, giving me product, all that crap, right? but I was bored. I didn't want to interview athletes. To be real with you, I don't give a fuck about them. As far as their, I care about their story and like I care about them as people, but they have egos to them and everybody does, even these artists too.
Yeah,
but
sure.
they feel like they have one up on you because, like that's just how I felt as far as in the interview game.
Yeah.
So I don't play that game.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like I don't play that. I'm not playing that game with you.
Yeah.
That's I not at all. I'm not your host or your waiter or your wait, whatever the fuck you. I
They want
don't
to
play
kiss ass. And you know what's crazy? And we both hang out with a ton of like celebrities or athletes or something like that. And I feel like the reason a lot of them dudes, like once they meet me, we become boys is because like I'm not with that fake shit. I'm not going to kiss your ass just because you played in the NFL or the NBA or something like that. And they respect the realness because here's the deal. They're just going to use you like a pawn when you're kissing their ass and sucking their,
For sure.
doing all that stuff. But they don't respect you. They're just going to literally use you up like you're showing them the kind of person you are. You know what I'm saying? People always want real people.
So I then said, you know what? I'm going to get into music.
Okay.
And that was my passion. I used to throw concerts in Chicago too with hip hop artist Twista. I threw a couple shows with Twista. I know Raul, his manager, very well. I know, I know all those guys very well. Exclusive 773. I grew up in Illinois. I know the scene very well out there. 27 years.
I was a Twista kid growing up, like nonstop.
Adrenaline Rush, one of the best albums ever.
For sure.
So I got into music, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get into music, and then I started interviewing artists immediately, and artists.
How were you getting these artists?
At first, I was DMing them.
Okay. Because a lot of people ask me, like, how'd you meet this? How'd you meet that? So
they were DMing me too.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so I was DMing them, and they were DMing me. Now, at first, I wasn't charging.
Okay.
You can't get on the Matty Ice show now unless you pay.
Okay.
Unless I'm personally inviting you. I do invite people, but you cannot get on as a guest unless you are contributing to my platform, and I don't like air that out or put like
for sure.
But that's
promoting
just,
your shit.
That's just what it is, man.
Yeah.
I work way too hard, and I don't. This is a give and take thing. Give and take. So if you're an artist that is way bigger than me, let's work together, because we're gonna build each other up, and I'm gonna give you promo, and you're gonna help me with your followers.
100%.
But if you're an artist that even is extremely talented, but I have a little bit up on you, we got to work together. And that's just that. But I do invite people on that I want to have on the show, so that happens too. There is a lot of guests that are invited on that don't pay anything. But I got into the music, and they were DMing me. I was DMing them. Now I don't reach out for guests at all, all. Like unless I really want an interview, I'm not reaching out. I don't do it.
I get it like this, Drew. I have almost daily where I have like telling people in my DMs like, no, you don't get to invite yourself on my show.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I want to on my show, I'll reach out to you.
People think, and it's funny, people think just because what me and you do, that we owe them an interview, or you owe them an hour of your time, or the engineers to come in here and edit the videos and cut the reels.
Dude, the worst thing about it is when these dudes, it drives me nuts. Like when I'll get one who did a sentence like, yo, let's hop on, I'd love to get on your podcast. Or like some stupid ass little one-liner thing. It's like, how the hell do you ever think that's going to work?
So what I do to them is I send them my price guide immediately. And that's it. I don't even respond to them. I just send them the flyer. That's it.
Good idea, yeah.
That's it. Cool. You want to send me something like that?
Let me know when you want the wire instructions.
Have a good approach.
Because that's another thing too. You can DM people, but like they always ask, you got to have a plan when you're DMing them. You know what I'm saying? Not just some random bullshit or something like that too. You know what I'm saying?
So if you're an artist and you come on my show, we have record labels that are following me. I have major artists and influencers that are following me, brands that are following me. I've had artists get signed off my show. Okay? I've had T.I. find Samara Sin off freestyling on my show. Facts. I've had Athica sign artists from seeing the artist perform on my show. Rose sees all of the freestyles on my show.
And I should say, plus to do that on your show is pretty big time himself.
And he doesn't know. Like me and Ross, it's just a very genuine
partnership,
relationship.
Cool.
Very genuine relationship. Ross is the most influential person to me.
Cool.
Period. Like Ross is definitely the most influential person to me, especially like when he got behind this show and started noticing it. Like it was over for me.
So how was that first? Yeah, because you didn't have clearly a sponsor at first. So what was it like at first? It wasn't Bel Air.
No, I was working with Bang Energy, and I had a contract with Bang Energy.
Okay.
Pen to paper, and I DM'd. I have a major respect for Bang Energy. Like they supported me when I was starting off my charisma, energy, enthusiasm, and excitement on what I wanted to do, and they believed in it, and I will respect them for that. But when I got into music, I was like, you know what? I wanted to get into Bel Air. Ross is somebody that I feel like I can reach out to. If he's, Ross, if he's serious about business and you're serious about business, Ross is going to smell it. You're going to pick up on it. So Ross picked up on it. I DM'd Ross, and he actually responded, which was crazy.
And it was him actually responding?
Rich Forever. It was him, 100%.
Wow.
From
That's nuts. He could even see your DM.
He responded to it. And ever since then, he's like, let's go. And then ever since then, I was like, okay. So I went, and like, we're talking 2 years ago now. And I haven't let the foot off the gas. When you see me, you think Belair, you think MMG, you think Ross, you think that's what you think, bro. I know what it is. Like, I've marketed myself enough to, I'm wearing Belair hat right now.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what, you're going to see Belair with me. And like I said, Ross is somebody that has paved the way for so many people. And I'll look back at this time right now and just know, like, I worked really hard to get to where I'm at with Ross specifically, with that camp. Like, you can't just go to Ross's table and pop bottles with him and have Rich Paul right in the same circle, or Rudy Gay, or LeBron James, or Wiz Khalifa at the same table. I understand how to move around Ross, and I understand how he moves. He moves like a boss. He's very strategic. And when I'm around his circle, I move the exact same way.
That's right.
So
I always said that, bro. Like, when I got out of prison, I didn't know how to like do anything out here, because I followed just watching people like that. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that had it going on. I had to rewire my entire brain. I was a straight up thugged out convict, just served over a decade and straight in prison, got out of maximum security prison. Like, I had to literally watch people that I like you with Ross. Like, I watched people I looked up to and like literally had to emulate them and like figure out how to do life out here on the streets. And that's how much I had to backtrack my entire life. How was your split from Bang going to Ross? Was there any little hair in the mud there, or was it?
Not at all. So like they
your
stopped.
Contract was up, and then
they just stopped messing with me at that point.
Okay.
And as far as Belair's concerned, Belair's one of the most prominent brands, especially in the hip hop community. They're everywhere. Black Bottle Boys. You see the blue Belair bottles in all the clubs lit up. You see the gold bottles, the pink bottle. We got all of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when you see Belair, you think of hip hop, you think of Rosé, you think of Maybach Music, you think of the biggest brands, you think of Brett Barish, you think of the absolute elite when you deal with Belair. And that's why I chose to align myself with Belair. And I'm not somebody that just aligned myself with Belair. I've been working hard for 2 years. You got people that take a picture with a bottle, or they DM Ross and they say they want to work, right? Then you better work. Mm-hmm. You better work when you DM Ross. And if you got to work, you feel me? This has been 2 years of straight Belair for 2 years. When you walk into my studio, you see the Belair on the mural. The bottles are in all the artists' hands. The bottles are on the table. I don't play.
Yeah.
I'm for real.
Yeah. No, I see.
And
I like it.
And you have to respect it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Ross said. Yo, this guy's working hard. He's serious about it, and we gotta show him love. Yeah. And it's not just Ross. I got mad love for the entire team. Jeter has been Ross's management for like the past 20 years. He's been with Maybach Music. He's now an executive for Maybach Music. Jeter K, who I'm about to interview soon as well. Damn. Jeter's somebody that has been great to me. He's been supportive, genuine, good person, good guy. Whenever I see him, it's a great time. And people like that, and Keezy, like the whole team, the whole Maybach family, is always dope to be around. Dope.
God, it's crazy. It's been that long, dude. I remember his first song when it came out on 106 in Park, bro. And I think I was on Cook Unit in Florence back in the day, bro. And I was like, what the hell? This shit slaps right here. But I was like, who is this big ass mofo? You know what I'm saying?
So I'll share this story too. Like, on this New Year's, and Ross really started to open up a lot to me, I would say, after this though. Okay. But on New Year's, I saw him at Dre's in Vegas. I go to whenever Ross is in Vegas, I'll go because
I'm down to go with you anytime.
Yeah, for sure. Whenever Ross is there, I just go because he's super close.
Yeah.
And I said, Ross, thank you so much for supporting the platform. It's been, a pleasure working with, the brands and everything last year. And he's like, shook my hand, looked me in my eyes. He said, good, if you stop, it's over with, and walked away. And that was like pretty much saying, yo, bro, I worked my ass off for years. Don't think just because you worked your ass off for a year, like, you're golden.
Or since you got it, it's done with now, yeah.
So I've been going through a rough patch recently, just shit in life, you know what I'm saying?
Same, bro. Let's talk about that shit.
I've been going through some shit, personal shit, family shit, all that, right? Personal. The hardest part that I've had to realize with the Matty Ice show is the Matty Ice show is a brand and an entity and a platform. The Matty Ice show is really just me. right? So I have to adjust. When I'm going through shit and I have artists that are flying in from New York or Florida or Chicago and they're paying me, I have to come on here and fuck my problems.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Straight
Like, my
up.
problems don't mean shit to them. They don't give a fuck about what I got going on in my family. They paid me. They care about coming in the studio, getting their product, and making sure I don't sound like a jackass or I don't give them a deadbeat interview. Feel me? So, like, that's been my thing, like, turning the switch on and off. And I'm learning that as we go.
Tough though, bro.
So what I've decided to do is just to turn down a little bit. And don't take this the wrong way, because we're in our own lane. I am the #1 music platform here in the state of Arizona, and there's no question behind that. Period. And I can say that confidently. I know there's other platforms doing their thing. I am the #1 platform here in Arizona for music, and I stand on it. And last year proved it. I won the platform of the year. Everybody else was working. And what I did is I paved the way for a lot of platforms to show them how the fuck to do it. Okay? And now they're doing it. And that's great. I dictate how hard I go. So if I want to get back to where I was last year, which I'm going to, we're right back to square one again. You see what I'm saying? Like, so for me, I know what I'm capable of doing, and I know the groundwork, and I have the foundation, and I know the formula.
Yeah.
So I've chose to step back because of my own reasons right now and that I have going on, but I'm not really stepping back. Keep in mind, I'm still dropping episodes weekly.
Yeah.
But for me,
recharging up. Bro.
I'm used to dropping 5 times a week.
Wow,
I'm used to
that's a lot.
posting twice a day, where all you see is Matty Ice's shit like last year.
Yeah.
You're still seeing it, but it's not like the abundance like you did last year. But it's gonna get right back to that.
That's a ton of posting too, bro.
I'm still like, I still feel like I'm the #1 platform this year for music here, but I could be doing a way better job. And I know
for sure.
that at this exact moment.
Dude, it's funny. I always think is people, they just live off the social media and the Instagram shit. You know what I'm saying? And like, if I'm having a tough day or something like that, and someone will make some stupid comments to me, and I'm like, dude, you have zero idea what like real life is actually like.
Right,
you know what
bro,
I'm saying? Like,
for sure.
Yeah, and it's like, so I try to be a little bit more transparent about like, but it's hard with me, bro. Like when I'm going through shit like that, like, and I try to be real to post the realness, like even when I'm fucked up in the head or going through some shit. But it's tough, bro, because I've still like shut down, and this is like literally, I'm no joke working on this with a therapist. Is like, I just shut down. I literally still to this day miss my prison cell, and I'm like, I wish I could just go lock myself in a fucking cell and just not talk to anybody. That's how I get. So I'll get like that for days, bro. I won't talk to people. So if you notice, like on my stories, if I'm just posting stories, I'm not talking on there. That means I'm not fucking wanting to talk to people.
I got you.
Bro.
No, bro.
And that
I
means
got
I
you.
miss my prison cell.
So let me ask you this really quick, and I don't want to get into it because I'd love to interview you one day. But honestly, so you did 13 straight?
I did 11 years and 10 months straight. I served a 12-year sentence and almost.
Can I ask you for what?
12. Yeah, a burglary charge.
A residential burglary?
Nothing. No home invasion.
I think I've seen this actually. Okay, so a burglary charge.
10 kids were involved. Spring break.
Okay.
No home invasion. No guns. No nothing.
Why did you get such a big sentence?
Because there was 10 kids involved, and my brother and them were 15 and 16 at the time. I had just turned 18, and everybody told on me, bro. And they just like since I
but isn't that such a steep sentence still?
Oh, it was the worst. I think it's the worst burglary in Arizona's history, bro. I had the worst sentencing judge in Arizona. They banned the judge because he was too harsh on his sentencing. But this judge had a thing in his head where he thought that people's minds weren't rehabilitated or fully matured until they were in their 30s. So that's what he did. He put me away from 18 till 12 years is 30.
So you did. So how long? What was your actual physical sentence?
My sentence was 12 years. So I got sentenced to 12 years for a non-dangerous theft charge. One theft charge I got a 12-year prison sentence for. When you do that, you serve 85% of your time, and then you technically should get a 6-month kick out. So technically, you should serve 9 years and 9 months on a 12-year sentence.
Did you have a lawyer?
Oh, street lawyer. My lawyer ran for the attorney general.
During this case?
Yes.
I mean, would you say you did a good job then?
I think, here's the deal.
I don't know your case, but fuck,
No, I'll
that's a
tell you,
long
I know.
sentence, man.
He did my case well. He did his job good. He just screwed up a couple things.
Gotcha.
He didn't realize. He put me back in front of this judge, and you know what's funny is when I stole a Mercedes-Benz from the Mercedes-Benz, a Chandler dealership right there, and my co-defendant in the burglary case was my co-defendant in that case too. He's the one that told him. He told me just like in the Mercedes case, I forgave him on both those. So he got probation, then 2 years of prison, and I got 12 years, which was really fucking tough. I'm drawing a blank on what I was even telling you right there.
Let's get back to this really quick. So
Okay.
you did 12 years straight.
Yeah.
When did you just say fuck it? I'm just gonna just roll with this. Like when did you say like roll call? When did you say like okay, you know what? I've accepted this, and I'm cool.
Out here or in prison?
In prison. What? Because dude, 12. You're like, bro. You're also. They took your entire 20s from you.
I'll tell you when I after the first dude I beat up in prison.
After what?
The first dude I beat up in prison. Because so like a lot of people know this part of my story.
Did you get tested? I mean, is that for real? Like a
Oh,
real?
I made a point to do this because I could tell people like just thought I was some little like pretty. I had long blonde hair from Awatuki, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the prison type. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember my first time walking in Chow, and I'm like a nobody. Like no one even knows me. And I'm like thinking, how the fuck am I gonna do 12 years like this, like being a nobody? And then I ended up beating up the dude that was running my building, who was literally twice my size, you know, and beat the brakes off this dude. We go on lockdown for a day, and the next day I come out to like I don't know his breakfast or dinner or something like that, and all these OGs now are like, hey youngster, heard what you did, blah blah blah. And I was just like, I remember right then thinking, I'm like, all right, I can do this. At least I used to box or something like that, so at least I'm not gonna be some lame, because like, but I didn't look at it like I was gonna get out of prison. I full on like looked at the 12 as like it was a life sentence. My mindset was like, if I get out, it's a fucking biggest miracle blessing in the world, but there's about a 4% chance I end up making out of prison.
Why did you? Because you thought you would die there?
I thought I would die there or get a life sentence in there.
Well, because it being inside there.
And
did you have family members that like died while you were in jail and shit?
Yeah.
That to me would get me, like if I was locked up and like I couldn't.
To this day, that's the worst. I might cry here, but this is clearly it's a sign that we need to talk about this. So, yeah, the worst thing I did, and I was in maximum security, Central Unit, you know, built in 1938, old school 5x7s, like literally like the movie Shawshank Redemption. And
you were in lockdown?
Yeah, I got out of lockdown. Right. I did almost 8 years straight and slammed down in Supermax or maximum security, bro. Literally,
I don't know how the fuck you do that. Like,
I got out.
When people say that, I just don't get it. Like I can't. I would literally be the dude you'd have to pad down. And like I would be that dude.
Remind me to get back to the story, but just to show you, and it shows the full change you can make, bro. Because I got out of maximum security, I just became open about this. I was under investigation for another attempted murder with 10 months to the gate. You know, sat in solitary confinement, waiting to go back.
So you don't know what the fuck's going on.
Back to maximum security. So my last 10 months, I'm going from like, I'm never getting out of this bitch to like,
maybe I'm getting out.
Who knows what's going on, to where even if they do release me, there's going to be Maricopa County detectives right there taking me back to jail for this thing.
Right.
Luckily, they got this dude. He was a piece of trash, sex offender. Those aren't human beings. Fuck those dudes. And thank God he lived though. You know what I'm saying? Because if he doesn't live, we're all going down for murder, accessories to murder, all that kind of shit. Just for being there, calling shots or whatever.
You have to fight the case, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I get out of solitary confinement. My family finally picks me up. I've been in prison almost 12 years straight, and getting out of solitary confinement.
Taking you up from like you're walking out of the fucking doors.
Shackled up, and then they let me out, right? And
first time in 12 years.
Yeah, and then
you're seeing sunlight like freely.
Yeah, because you don't even get sunlight in there for 11 months. I was pale white with yellow teeth. 11 years. Yes. So, and what's crazy, they give you your paperwork right there, and we're driving through this little van to get out of the last thing, and just to show you how screwed up my mindset was, they hand me the thing back, and there's a freaking paperclip on it, and I was like, I literally snatched it out of my dad's hand. I'm riding shotgun. And he's like, what the hell is that? I was like, they left a paperclip on this thing. I'm literally ready to like put this paperclip away and hide it. And I'm like, I look back at my brother and I'm like, holy shit, I'm on the streets now. Like, I don't need paperclips anymore. But I'm literally coming out of, the hole.
Right,
Paperclip's fucking gold in there, bro.
How weird was it? Like, how weird was adapting like the first week? How weird was that?
It was a blur, bro. And it's crazy. It's like all the stuff you think about wanting to do the most, you don't even do. You know what I'm saying? Like all I want to do is
you ate some food though.
I didn't even eat for 2 days, bro. I couldn't. I was sick to my stomach. My stomach was in knots, and we had people over, and I couldn't even be around too much people. So like I was like a little. It's funny.
You were institutionalized.
I was like a little dog, bro. So anytime a new person would come over, I'd have them take me to the gas station or something like that. Like I had to just keep getting out. I like going for car rides.
Right.
I was a fucking fucked up like.
Well, bro, you also you were institutionalized.
And here's the deal. There's a lot of people, Wes Watson, he did a decade. He probably served 8 years. He got out from a minimum yard. I've never fucking touched a minimum camp. Like, I got out from maximum security. Like, I literally had my sentence go up, and I stayed in max and cells and stuff.
So what do you appreciate the most? And then we'll get back to, like, out of
breathing fresh fucking air.
I'll interview you. So what do you appreciate the most out of 12 years, like, besides the air, like, that you can do freely?
It's crazy enough as it sounds, is like, at the end of my sentence, I liked being in maximum security because I hated being around fucking lames. Like I didn't like it. I was a miserable, angry fucking dude. Like
you've seen this movie
100 times. Right. I've seen the lame, and what got me was like I'd seen these little lame ass Dauphins that come in here with 2-3 years on a prison sentence.
You're like, bitch, I just
go
did
right
10.
back to the streets and come right back again. They want me to get some. Like fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You don't appreciate your time on the streets. Like we ain't gonna take care of you for years. So the greatest benefit for me now probably is being able to choose who I spend my time with.
That, and also, bro, like, just so you know, if you can do 10 years in the cell and maximum security, there's really nothing you can't do.
And that's what I feel, too. And that's, I
truly, like, I'm being dead at, mentally, like, there's nothing, like, I just did a 3-day juice cleanse, 4-day juice cleanse, and I'm like, fuck, that's mentally, but, like, to sit in a cell for fucking, and eat that crap fucking food they probably give you.
I've been there, you can't even tell you, I'll get into all the details if I go on your show, but, like, I've been through the worst of the worst of the worst.
Bro, I believe you. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing.
And ran, like, Maury, which is the most gangster fort in the state, it's literally nicknamed Murder Maury. I mean, they killed multiple cops there the 1 year that I was there. You know, I ran that yard when I was 25 fucking years old. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mind-blowing, bro.
And I used to be walking around like, I would even swear to God, I'd be walking to chow and I'd be thinking, how the fuck am I running this shit from Ahwatukee? You know,
Right.
But like, it just shows like, I worked my mind into being this gangster killer, whatever like that. And I've always been tough. I used to box and I didn't have shit to believe in. I didn't believe in God anymore. Oh, so coming back to that story. So I'm in maximum security central unit, right? And in there, it's so crazy, bro. Like, you have to wake up at 7 a.m. and you can't even talk until 10 a.m. So, like, everybody has to be up and you just have to sign to each other. You can't even talk to each other.
You're in trouble if you talk.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm just running the whites and there's the dude, Baby Jag's running the Mexicans right here. And we're both in the bottom. It's called a horseshoe because the building's shaped like a full-on horseshoe. So it's like Shawshank. You like look at each other's cells 4 stories high. And you're so institutionalized in there. Like, we would like have contests, not contests, but like we'd make it a thing. Like, who would wake up earlier between me and the head Mexican? Like, whoever wakes up earlier while you're still in lockdown at 5 something is like more OG. You know what I'm saying? So like we'd have that thing. And like one morning, me and Jag would be the first dudes up in that building every day. And my cousin was on the news. They did a little highlight of her. She won the PF Chang's marathon out here. She's the last American athlete to win it, right? And so I like signed to Jag. I was like, yo, my cousin's gonna be on the news. Watch this, you know. And then she got ran over by a drunk driver that morning and killed. And it was like 3 months after she had won the PF Chang's. Like, she was all over the news and everything. To this day, she still has the record for that race. No one's beat her time. She was an All-American at Duke.
Wow.
And I'm in maximum security, so I find out watching the news in the morning. And in there, you get 1 10-minute phone call a week. So like then what do I get to do? I'm 25 years old at this time. I just get to sit in my prison in this 5x7 cell, not leave for 4 days straight, and then I can finally make a phone call to my parents on Sunday when I get my phone calls redone. And by that time, it's just like you heard the news, and it's like, you know what do you say? You sit there and cry for 10 fucking minutes straight, and then hang up the phone, and that's it for another 6 days.
Right.
You know, and that was the day that I quit believing in God, and because I saw a rapist got stabbed that exact night, and I remember him walking away. You know, it's just like some shit you see in the movies there, because you're walking out, you're shackled up, you know, so that. Come tell you gotta.
The guards are some cool with you, some aren't.
Yeah, and a lot of them in maximum security, the cars will pass you for you, something like that. They ain't trying to get snatched up walking by those bars.
Right,
like those cops they wear stab-proof vests even to deliver chow and stuff. They're just the real deal, bro.
Right.
And I remember, you know, so what they'll do is they'll tell the dude like, come grab some or come borrow a mirror because he had just gotten in here, and he handed over paperwork saying he raped some chick. Literally handed it over. We're like, is this a setup? How dumb does this dude think he is? And I remember them telling me, and this is literally the same day that I find out the news, and then they're saying, yeah, homie told him he's going to go borrow a mirror from him so he can shave in the shower. And then, so when you do it like this, you go down to grab the mirror, all you do is reach through your bars and snatch onto those cuffs and put your other hand through there and start. And you could hear the, like, burying into him, bro. And I remember, I still hear that. That's another sound of
the stabbing
that I was talking about too.
Dang.
You don't even hear the stabbing, but you hear it sounds like they're slapping him in the chest, and you know the pieces being burned. So it's like, and the cops pulling him off from his hold, from where the inmate has a hold of him. And they finally got that dude out. And I remember he walked out, and I remember thinking, this fucking punk lived and just walked out, and he's a straight rapist, and my cousin's dead. She closed casket and everything, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that was the day that I never prayed again, up until honestly a year ago, bro. And you know, I was already mad at the world and like straight crazy there, and that just made me another level after that. Like, I gave up on everything. Like, I fucking hated life. God, you know, I didn't believe in God anymore. But like, I was just like, I'm gonna fucking make this. My mindset was like, I'm gonna make the world pay. Like, how stupid is that? I'm like locked in a fucking cell trying to make the world pay for shit that I did when I put myself in prison. So, but
although I don't think you deserve that long of a sentence.
I didn't, but you know what's crazy is like when now that I finally found God again, and have like a faith, it makes the whole. It's crazy, but it makes it all make sense.
I got you.
Because my story is so fucked up now, I can help people that like your story can't help, or someone else, even some dude that's you know, Mario Cannon or something like that. You know, because he talks to me, he's like, you know, my story's not like yours, and it's like now my story can be so fucked up, and I did so much prison time, and then look at, I'm still fucking happy and love life and a multimillionaire, and you know, it is what it is. So like, my story was so fucked up because it had to be so fucked up to show people what's possible when you fuck your life up that bad. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And that's what I believe. So, damn, you fucking turned the tables on me there, bro. I like that shit. I don't even know. So. I did want to ask you this. Your favorite guests, and then how much do your guests inspire you, and then how much does that translate to you to your daily or weekly stuff? Because I'll have guests that come on and I'm like, holy shit, that'll stay with me all week long. You know what I'm saying? Because yours is more about music. It's not like that. So does that ever happen to you still?
I'd say the biggest moment for me, like when I interviewed Boosie, that was super cool. Like that was a big interview because I got to do that like at a time when I was on the come up. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like really hustling, and I got to interview Boosie at Ethica. That was a really special moment on the show. And I would say that was my favorite interview. I would say I just interviewed Swanee, Kyler Murray's hairdresser.
No way.
That went viral. We had like 14 million views on TikTok, and 50 news articles were written up about it. Yeah,
wow.
if you Google Kyler Murray's hairdresser,
okay,
you'll see the Matty Ice show everywhere. And that was super cool. I've had a lot of OTF artists come on the show, like Duty Low and Noza Jordan. Noza's going to be
Low, that song he has on that new Dirk, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah.
So Duty slept at my house actually. Like
really?
He flew in from Atlanta.
Okay.
And he flew in from Atlanta. I scooped him from the airport. We did the interview. He performed, and then he crashed at the crib. We got Filiberto's. He's like, "You never been to Filiberto's?" Actually, never been to Filiberto's.
Stop.
Yeah, I never been to Filiberto's. He used to live out here, so he took me to Filiberto's, and we went back to the crib. And he played me a bunch of Dirk's unreleased music, a bunch of King Von's unreleased music.
Damn.
Fire shit. That was awesome. I'm a big fan of the label. And I dropped him off at that morning, bro. It was super cool.
I don't want to put you on the spot. Who's your top artist out right now?
My favorite artist?
And leave Ross out of everything.
Yeah. My favorite artist, like in Arizona, or my favorite artist is Lil Durk and Drake. But Lil Durk, right now, Lil Durk.
Yeah.
He's really gotten my ear a lot.
I'm like Dirk and Moneybagg Yo right now. For me.
I love Moneybagg Yo. Dirk is like, I think Dirk's special because he's from Chicago. He's from Illinois. I got to see his come up, and he really found his sound.
What about Baby?
Little Baby?
Yeah.
I love Little Baby.
Yeah, those are my top three right now.
Little Baby's great. He's going to drop a great album coming up next month. But Dirk has just really got my sound.
Yeah.
He's
really real about his shit till you feel like that. You know what I'm saying?
And he can rap and like kind of give you that. I like melodic rap a lot.
Yeah. He's just chill. He just reminds us of some OG like brother from prison. Like that's what I think.
Dirk's dad did 27 years.
OG. That's what I heard.
Straight.
You know, it's crazy. I've heard that thing and I was like, that makes sense because the dude rolls like a little OG. You know what I'm saying?
They're Muslim.
Really?
Yeah. Dirk's Muslim. Dirk's dad's Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many comparisons I still have to prison. Like I see you do like that, and I'm like, everything in my life I still compare to prison almost. You know what I'm saying?
Well, a lot of people, I guess, in prison become Muslim.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
So that's what Dirk's dad did. He became Muslim in prison.
You know, a lot of people do that for Ramadan because you get 2 sack meals.
Well, fuck it.
You literally get extra food, bro. I was in the county jail. I signed up for that for it too, just for that, bro.
Right.
So, but a lot of people, yeah, God, it's so funny thinking back to those days.
It's I just think anybody, first of all, I think anybody that can do 11 years straight or some shit like that, like fuck, that just is crazy. And
dude, I went away at 6 foot, 144 pounds, no facial hair, no nothing. I was like a little. I literally just hit puberty. I feel like.
Right.
And then
at 18.
Yeah, 18 years old.
You got robbed of like some serious years.
Oh, I went from 18 to, and I got
21st birthday. You're sitting there like fuck.
Yeah, and I got out and I served my 30th birthday in the hole in solitary, and I got out. So I got out a month after I turned 30.
So you're on parole. All that. So what was the first meal you had right when you got out?
Dude, we had like a bunch of people, like not
family over and shit like.
Yeah, family over. I was just
you were like the
I was a show and tell.
Yeah,
they were like keep talking. I was like, yo, don't talk to me. I don't like this many people talking to me. I'm like, if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna go for another car ride real quick. You know. But yeah, that was it. Everybody wanted to be around, and I'm like, dude, I haven't been around people for years. Like, please stay away from me. You know. And I remember, you know, what's crazy is when they put me in the hole back then, and so I was supposed to only go for I had 5 months. But then when you get major tickets and stuff like that, they all rack up and they just take time from you. So I went in there for 5 months, and then
You're saying the whole, is that 24 hours a day?
Yeah.
24 hours
23, 24 hours a day. Yes.
For how many days?
I was in there for 11 months straight that time.
Wait a second. So you didn't get out of so talk about how
you get 3 showers a week, and they shackle you up and they take you a shower, and that's it.
So how big is the hole compared to this room?
Oh, this little back thing right here. That's your cell, and you'd stay in there 24 hours a day
for 11 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How do you do that? How do you do that though? Physically.
I was institutionalized.
How do you do that though? How do you sit in a place like this for 11 months?
How do you do someone like me with ADD and ADHD?
How do you do it? Seriously, that's what I want to know. How do you do it?
You literally talk to yourself, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you know
but how do you sit here for 11 months?
Pace. That's what I do. I had a routine.
Push-ups, pace.
That's all you do, bro. And got to the point where I wouldn't even come out for my 3 showers a week.
And you're getting no mail or anything. There's nothing.
You
don't know what's going on in the world or anything.
Yeah, you get one when they come around and bring your mail when they come deliver dinner trays, and that's it. And other than that, you're locked in there 24/7, bro. And it got so bad, like I wouldn't even take my shower. So like your 3 showers a week you get, I wouldn't even go out there and take them because like it would fuck my routine up. Like they'll come give you showers at 9 o'clock at night. I'm like, I already worked out in the day, so like you're institutionalized. It's like
Who gives a fuck about a shower? I'm not seeing anybody.
No, you bird bath every day, anyways. Like
what?
legit bird baths.
What's a bird bath?
Are we about to give a bird bath? I'm gonna do this one for the camera. A bird bath is like so you literally take a shower over your toilet. This is how you shower in the hole. No joke, bro.
With your
maximum security, everything. Yeah, bro. So you sit on the toilet facing backwards.
I got you.
So you're straddling the toilet, and then you literally fill up cups of water from the sink like that, and then wash yourself, and then just like dump them on yourself, and just try and get all the soap off you like that. Your whole entire floor is soaking wet, and then you just clean that whole floor up, and that's your routine. That's how you clean yourself of the day, and that's how you bird bath.
Right.
And then by my thing is every day by 4 o'clock when 106 and Parker come on, that was
you got the radio and TV in there? Or no?
Yeah, that's
so you do have a TV in there.
You have a TV and you get like 12 channels. So 13-inch TV and you get like 12 channels.
So you can see a little bit of what's going on.
Yeah. Sports, that's all I do is watch ESPN or ESPN2 every day. That's
so you can watch sports.
Yeah. So that's all I did in there. Like I knew every player, what college they went to, what round they were picked, every single thing about every sport, bro. That was what I did with sports.
So you did get to watch TV.
Yeah, so that's what I would have ESPN Sports Center going on my cell in the morning, and I'd have music going on, like literally rap music playing off my little headphones, trying to make little speakers out of them. And just be pacing. I'd write letters, do sit-ups in the morning, shit like that, and just that's it.
Crazy, bro.
Yeah, and like literally, and it's so crazy. Like, but you asked how I did it. Like, I got used to it, bro. At the end, like I didn't even mind it. Like, I fucking hated being on the yard. And then like when you run yards, it's exhausting, bro.
That's because, bro. What I just realized too after I did a juice thing, and is people are very what is it? What's the right word for this? Pattern of once you start doing something, what the fuck is the right word? I'm blanking right now. Routine. Once you get into a routine, we're very routine based. Once you get into a routine, like even with the juice, like after 4 days, I was like, I don't really.
That's on my list.
I don't
of
want to
questions
eat this fucking
for
food.
you. I was going to ask you if you have a routine out here, and if so, what
yeah,
part?
I mean, I have a routine for like my life. You know, I wake up every day at 5:30 in the morning. I go to the gym every single morning at Life. You see what's
Saw
up?
you at Lifetime today, homie.
Yeah. So I go to the gym every morning at 5:30, 6 in the morning. And I'm a homebody, bro. I like to watch football and sports and chill. I don't give a fuck about the clubs or popping bottles. I don't give a fuck about the scene here. I don't care about anybody here. I don't care. If you
did that, I don't think your podcast would be half the places it is right now.
Yeah, well, the thing is,
Honestly.
I don't care about the scene here. Like, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Like, it's great. I'm 35 years old, bro. I don't give a fuck about popping bottles in the club and holding a bottle that I paid $1,000 for, looking cool.
Literally.
And dealing with these 21-year-old girls that are very beautiful, that think they can get whatever they want in the world from every guy. Like, and that's great.
All they have is their looks too.
Yeah, it's like, go fuck yourself.
And it's in Scottsdale, but like hot chicks or diamond does, that means nothing out here.
Bro, I have experienced a lot of that even somewhat recently, and I will say this. We need to start glorifying women that are nurses,
make a point to that one.
That are nurses, that are career orientated, that are real women.
That aren't thirsty.
That aren't posting pictures completely naked on Instagram, and then we glorify those women. Yeah. And there's not, and like, for instance, I'm going to use somebody as an example that I have the utmost respect for out here, Taylor Parker. She posts pictures on Instagram. She's a beautiful woman, but Taylor's a beautiful soul. And people that know Taylor know that.
Yeah.
So Taylor doesn't post anything way too provocative, but she's a model too, so she posts modeling pictures. But there's way more to Taylor Parker than just modeling, right?
Yeah.
So we see that. She's a real woman. But we need to stop glorifying just the bullshit, bro.
Well, I love that you said that. Seriously.
And I'm all for that. Like, yo, if I meet a girl and she's a really naturally good looking, and I do have to be attracted to somebody, don't get me wrong.
For sure.
And good looks can be somebody that's I think is good looking, they might not think is good looking.
100%.
So for me, somebody that I think is good looking, that is, let's just say, a nurse or something like that, I will way choose that over a lot of situations out here. And a lot of these girls, their looks fade. Especially, yes. And I hate to say, like, for women, but women don't age the best that men do. Like, women age a little bit quicker than men.
Yeah.
That's why men can get away with, maybe you see men that are 50-something years old and they're with somebody that's a little bit younger, right? But you don't really see the opposite of a 50-year-old lady with a 30-year-old dude, right?
Yeah.
It's not typical, right?
Yeah.
Men can get away with some of that. And I'm not saying that in a way of, what's that word, misogyny, but that's nothing like that. Uh-huh. I'm saying men just have the ability to, it's the law of averages. You see it outside. men have younger women a lot of times, right?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily what I'm looking for, but you don't see like a 55-year-old woman with a 30-year-old dude on an average, but you see that a lot out here. And that's because a lot of younger women gravitate towards money. And money, not even stability or love.
That's it.
Just money.
Yeah.
Oh, he's fucking driving a Lambo. He's 55 years old. Oh, let me go to Mastro's and zoom in on my steak and my fucking corn and on Instagram. But let me not give a fuck about him.
Yeah.
I'm here for the steak and corn.
Yep.
You feel me? And like, I look at those girls and I have no respect for them and I laugh.
I look at it, I'm like, who the fuck took your ass to Mastro's? Because the dude's never even in the picture.
And one night they're at Mastro's and then 2 nights later they're at Eddie V's. And here they are, and they don't even have a fucking job. And then they're at the Capitol Grill, and then they're in Cabo, and then they're in fucking Italy, and they're like, it's like, bitch.
Then they got their sponsor buying them Alo or Lulu shit.
All you are is you're with a sugar daddy.
Yeah. That
is literally, you're his whatever you want to call it, and it's like we see it, we don't respect it.
Yeah.
And I'm not personally like, I'm straight up with these girls. I'm not dropping a bag on you. I don't get, my ex-girlfriend, she was very well taken care of. She had nice Louis Vuitton bags. She never paid any of the bills in the house. I do believe the man should be a caretaker and a supporter, especially financially. I believe that. I wouldn't say like, to my girl, like, you can't work. Like, you can do whatever you want. Be independent. That's great. But I do believe the man should be more supportive on a few areas in life. And maybe I just learned that from my grandpa, whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm done glorifying these fucking girls out here that think just for their looks they can get whatever the fuck they want. I've fallen into that trap. I've fallen into the trap before. You know what I mean? And we need to stop. Meaning, like, let's respect the women that really respect men and respect themselves.
Yeah, that's a big one for that. They have to respect
and
themselves.
Like, I don't want to just sleep around with fucking a girl that's slept with 50 dudes around. That's disgusting, bro. Like, I care about hygiene. I care about taking care of yourself, all that shit. Like, I'm 35 years old, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care about the shit that other people care about anymore.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see me in the clubs. Because all that shit's fake to me. I don't need to go to the club and get this girl that's 23 that's beautiful and bring her home. I don't give a fuck.
Or how about the dudes that go to the thing and buy $1,000 bottle of alcohol and fucking rent an apartment? Like, go.
It's ridiculous.
Buy a house,
it's
bro.
ridiculous, bro.
Some of them don't even have cars and they'll get bottle service.
When I go to Vegas, the only time you'll see me popping bottles is when I'm in Vegas and I'm at Rick Ross's table.
For sure.
And the club's taking care of it.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's Ross's table. I used to go to the club and pop bottles when I was 20 years, whatever. To me, it's stupid. I'll go buy fucking jewelry. I'll go put it in my bank. I would rather go buy designer shoes even.
I did it for 6 months when I got out, bro. And I literally was sitting there like, what the fuck? You guys been doing this for 12 years? Like,
it's ridiculous. To me, it's not even, I swear on my life, I seriously fucking mean this. Seriously, I mean this when I say this. Take this seriously.
Yeah.
A Saturday night, I would much rather have a Lou Malnati's pizza at my house, a nice joint that's rolled up, a candlelit, ESPN going, than be at a club. And I actually, sincerely fucking mean that. Yeah. And for me, like, I'm not a lame. I have fun. But it's like, for me, and I'm not like, I'll go out to celebrate, but to go to a club and just to hold a bottle with 10 people, what is so great about that?
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know what is so great about it, especially when you're spending all the money.
No, and I like chilling at the crib too. That's
clubs might not like me after this. No, like, listen,
right?
I'm not.
Good thing they ain't sponsoring you.
I'm a home, and Bel Air, like, listen, we pop Bel Air. If you go to the club, we're popping Bel Air. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when I'm at the crib, I have Bel Air, and everything you see is Bel Air. My whole thing is, and Bel Air, by the way, is very reasonably priced in the clubs.
Is it?
Very reasonably priced in the clubs. So if you're in the clubs popping bottles, you're popping Bel Air. But I think for me, like, also I'm 35 now, so like, I'm also in a different phase of life, where like I don't need to, like, I did that in Chicago every too many times. Yeah. I don't think it's a problem if you're 4-year dudes and you're out celebrating and you're with a bunch of people. Like, that's different.
If there's some you're celebrating, you don't celebrate Friday or Saturday night.
These bottle rack girls too that will go to the club and they're literally looking just to go to some dude's. It's like these girls nowadays. It's crazy to me, and it's like we see right through it. Oh, yeah. And then they wonder why they're not married, or they're not like, or that it's just like, so.
I like this. I didn't think we were going to turn this into ripping on chicks. Well,
I'm not ripping out. Like, I'm glorifying chicks like Taylor Parker.
Yeah,
I'm glorifying chicks like Taylor Parker.
Say that, yeah.
Like, girls like Taylor Parker.
Fuck those chicks that we're ripping on anyways. Like
girls like her. That's what I'm talking about. And she is a model.
Yeah.
But she's just like such a good person. Her soul, like she's a caring person. She's vegan. She cares about animals. She cares about people. She puts out positive energy. She won like Miss Sedona out here. Like I glorify people like her, or like people that got their master's degree and like are naturally like, you know, just good people.
For sure.
But yeah, that's where I'm at with it, and I think that's what the world needs. The world's really taking a social media fucking plunge, bro. Like, and first of all, and again, I'm not like, I love women, and I also think women are on the same playing field as men. I don't like. I'm not androtating this podcast at all by any means. but I will say this, you know, as far as fuck, I just got off track again.
Andrew Tate.
Well, Andrew Tate's a whole different thing. As far as women need to just realize that we understand what the situation is, and there is something that Andrew Tate did say that I actually did respect, is when we take a woman out for a first date or something like that, and they're telling us, hey, I've been to Cabo, I've been to Venice, I've been to Tulum, and I just went to Mastro's, and I went to Capitol Grill, and then I went to...
I like where this is going.
I went to Maggiano's, and then we went to Louis Vuitton, and it's like, us men, I feel like, it's especially me, where I'm at now, is I want to experience innocence with a woman.
Same, bro.
In a relationship. I want to have innocence. I don't want to experience somebody that's not necessarily been around the block, but like been around the block for the wrong reasons. And I want to be able to like show somebody like their first time doing something. Maybe like it is their first time, or maybe it's not. But like that innocent aspect of it all is like a woman actually being innocent. Like that's what I want.
That, you know what's crazy? That's one of the toughest things about getting out of prison. Is because when I got out, I had never been on a date or anything. I got out, I'm 30 years old. So then I'm just like dealing with chicks with, you know, kids and stepdaddies and all
like
this
worried.
bullshit. I'm a felon. I'm just like, dude, what the heck? You know what I mean? I'm like...
But you hit the gym and you figured it out.
At the gym, yeah. And then I learned real quick, don't start messing with chicks at the gym. You have to freaking like hide and go seek when you show up to the gym. That was not fun.
But what you did, bro, is you embraced your past, and actually it's made you who you are now. And look at you, you're in a fucking beautiful studio. You got great big friends around here. You're very well liked around here in Arizona. So in reality, you're a motivation to me too. I could never do what you did. I honestly couldn't. I mean, maybe I guess you're forced to physically. I promise you, I would be that person that would take the government to like the maximum capabilities. Trust me, and I'm sure they would fuck with me too, like to the maximum. But I don't want to be in that situation.
For sure,
you know. And I guess
I appreciate you saying that, bro, for real. And you're inspiring for me too, so I like it. I want to get into let's wrap it up here. But like, what do you have coming up on this year? And then I've just out of curiosity, is there anybody on your list that you want to get in the studio that you haven't?
Yeah, I'd love to interview Little Dirk, obviously.
I was just going to say besides Dirk.
So Ross, actually, I was just with Ross maybe 2 weeks ago in Vegas, and Ross asked me, am I ready for the Rose interview? So that's going to happen. I will be interviewing Ross hopefully this year. I have a few interviews that are already confirmed that I haven't announced yet.
Okay.
But I'll say this on this show right now. The Matty Ice show is going to be making some turns coming up. We are always going to be a hip-hop based platform for artists and musicians, but I am also going to expand and do the full send route a little bit as well, meaning where I'm going to be traveling, going to meet big influencers and big-time guests, and having interviews somewhat like this without the artist aspect of it all. So I'm not limiting myself to what the Matty Ice show is capable of doing or what it is. What you will see in every single Matty Ice episode is Bel Air and Maybach music. My loyalties with Ross and Bel Air and Maybach music is eternal and it's forever.
That's right.
No matter what. Even like if somebody else came up to me, like, no, I will never forget what Rick Ross has done for this show since day one. I'll never forget it, and it can't be replaced.
Yep.
It just can't be replaced. So that's how much I appreciate him, the team over there, and I will like to say that yes, I'm about to turn up to about 100%. Last year I was about 95. Right. This year I'm about to turn back up. I would say there's a lot of I don't see myself winning Platform of the Year out here this year. I don't care to. I wanted to win last year, so I made sure I did win. Like I said,
who is it? Who else was your competition last year?
Two-Tone the Superstar was like, I don't know if you've heard of him. He's like so me and him do not get along. We do not like each other. We've clashed a lot before. Like he doesn't like me. I don't like him. We have a big history with each other. He's done a good job this year though. So I can't sit here and like,
that's real.
On a level of platform and podcasting, he's done a really good fucking job this year. But I'm also watching it. So like, it's like at the end of the day, like, I see what you're doing and like, I think you're doing great. But don't think like just because you're on this, he's been posting a lot and doing his thing, and he's doing a really good job with it, especially here in Arizona, putting the artists around. But he's been, he always pushes like, this is the number one thing. This is the number one thing. No, I was the number one platform last year. You were the runner up. Yeah. Okay, you messaged me in the morning congratulating me.
Funny people saying that.
Okay, so I have the trophy on my platform right now. I won last year.
Yeah.
And if you win this year, I would get up and clap for you because you didn't when I won. You sat in your chair and moped. And then I went up to you afterwards and shook your hand and said, you still did a hell of a job. And then he felt bad and DM'd me in the morning and congratulating me. But if he does win this year, which if I were to vote right now, I would think that he definitely, as far as in the music lane, deserves it. Mm-hmm. I think he's done a really good fucking job. And I'm not saying that I don't deserve it. I'm going to say here in Arizona, he's done a fantastic job. And
that's cool. That's just being real about.
Yeah, I'm a realist, bro.
That's right.
But like I also am a full interviewer. Like, I'm sitting down with people for 45 minutes to an hour, a lot of them going on. But let's see what happens with my show the rest of this year. I will say this. For 2023, no one's fucking with me in music, like, period. Like, that's just, it's good. I already have my plan. I'm already thinking next year.
Yeah.
This year's over for me.
All right.
And this year's been a mental block. I've been going through real life shit this year and still maintaining my platform and still, like, maintaining my sponsorships and everything.
Yeah.
Last year I had business on Zoop. No, I didn't give a shit about anything besides blowing up.
Yeah.
This year, but like, I have almost 300 YouTube interviews.
That's a lot.
No cap.
Bro. Yeah, that's a
lot. You go to my YouTube, there's 300 interviews. No cap.
That's a ton, bro.
So for like me, bro, like, okay, like I put the groundwork in too much.
Yeah.
And I'm about to get back to what I need to do and to what I want to do and get back to who Matty Ice is and what my show's about. And it's not who's John Malott. I interviewed John Malott. You know who he is from sure. He said to me, and this stuck with me in one of my interviews. He's like, and this is when I was really on top. Like when I don't want to sound this in a conceited, cocky way, but there was like a Matty Ice thing. Like, who's Matty Ice? Like I came out of Arizona out of nowhere. Like there was a big buzz to my show for a while. For a while, like last year there was a buzz to it. And I noticed it because I felt it through the DMs. Sure. And, I also have Rick Ross, it's a serious thing.
Yeah.
So I get it. I see what was going on. I think that's died down now. People know who I am, and that stuff's died down a little bit, which is fine. But I paved the way for a numerous amount of platforms out here. No one was doing what I was doing at all. Even him, Two-Tone. He saw what I did, and that made him work a lot harder.
For sure. What were you saying about Malott?
Let me get back to that. John Malott, he said to me, I get off track, ADD.
Same here, bro.
John Malott said to me in an interview that when I interviewed him, he's like, when you're on top, it's great and everything like that. But he's like, there's going to be that moment where you not fall off, but you have a moment where you're just like, okay, this is a different phase. Mm-hmm. So I just went through a different phase of life.
There we go.
I just found out this just, recently this been, my ex, who I was with for a very long time, didn't tell me she was pregnant and then just had a kid. And I just found that out. And we were talking kind of like throughout the past 9 months, not like anything, she was being faithful and everything like that, but we were just talking. She hid it for me completely. That fucked with me because I always thought maybe like me and her were going to evaluate our situation, whatever the fuck you call it. So now that's a done deal. So just life in general has been fucking with me. A lot of different scenarios this year.
Yeah.
But I got to get back to my passion, and my passion is doing this, sitting down with guys like you, interviewing. I love music. I love the Matty Ice Show. The Matty Ice Show is tattooed right here on my fucking arm, all over my arm. I had Jason from Beverly Hills make me an all white gold fucking diamond out chain. I'm not even wearing it. I'm not wearing it. Another thing. Like I'm not wearing my jewelry everywhere I go anymore. You feel me? Like I don't give a fuck about that. Like people know what's up. Like like you just gotta be careful.
For sure, especially nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays. I'm not PM, rest in peace. I'm not his statue or anything like that, but, I'm just moving a little bit differently too.
For sure.
And I will never kiss any artist's ass out here a lot of these big artists out here might want that from me. It's not going to happen if you don't support me genuinely. If you're not supporting my show, I don't care who you are. Like,
yeah, literally.
You know, you're not going to do that with me. 100%. I've been around the biggest.
Yeah.
These things don't impress me anymore.
Yeah.
So, John Malott basically just said, you know, there's going to be a point where you enter a different phase, and then let's see what happens. So, I'm over that phase now.
Yeah.
You even said, it seems like you slowed down a little bit. Because I thought, and it's like, I don't like that you said that, to be real with you. The fact that you said that. I don't like that. Meaning like, okay, the public's seen that too? I don't like that.
Maybe there's what's to get you going again.
But yeah. And that's okay that you said that. Yeah. And I'm happy you did. And I actually have slowed down a little bit. But I don't want the public to think that.
Yeah.
But now I'm being open about it.
Yeah, and just real between us, like I'd always see your shit pop up. I didn't see too much lately, so that's
right.
all it was.
I haven't. And
I try not to be on Instagram too much. I try to do my posts and get off that stupid app. You know
for sure.
So
it used to be where last year I had 12 to 15 interviews unlisted in my. So like for me, I don't drop like on Wednesdays or Thursdays or every Friday at 1. I don't give a fuck. I drop it. Oh, it's cool. I'm bored at my house. I'm dropping this interview.
Yeah.
I have 12 on my YouTube. I'm gonna drop. I might drop 4 in a day.
Yeah.
Because I like 4 different camps to be watching my shit and posting. I like to go haywire with it. I have no rhyme or reason for what I'm doing. I just do it. So I'm gonna get back to that level. I have artists that are still. I have like 10 interviews next month, by the way. And like, that's a lot that are from all over the country, that are flying in.
That's dope.
So for me, I'm still like,
yeah.
But I'm not going the full Matty Ice way of dropping 10 a week.
Yeah.
Or dropping 5 a week. 5 a week is what I was dropping about. 5 interviews a week.
That's a ton,
with
bro.
freestyles and performances and all that a week.
Even just 5 of these interviews would be a lot. So Robin 5 times in 1 week. We're doing 5 a week. Shit,
5 a week with engineering and performances, and that's why I won.
Hank, I wouldn't mind, but Robin, I'm not trying to see her 5 times.
That's why I won Platform of the Year last year out here because like you couldn't. The consistency was so deep.
Yeah.
And the work ethic was so real, and the content, and I make a flyer for everything was done.
That's good. Yeah.
Everything was done just like this. How it's branded right. It was done to the cream of the crop, and like I said, this year was a year that I needed to take. I worked my ass off still this year, and it's not over with. And I have some big stuff coming. Actually, I had my most viral interview this year. I had 50 news articles right up about my Kyler interview. So
crazy.
We'll see what happens, but. Hey,
I'm excited to see.
You should win. You should get I look at us as a different platform. I'm talking about I'm competing with my people in music. Mm-hmm. But I think you this year should be fucking for sure. If Matt Mills is watching this, my endorsement, Platform of the Year for me here, and I'm really thinking right now because if I'm going to say this on camera, I have to fucking mean it.
Yeah.
Because this can get clipped. If I'm going to say who's the Platform of the Year out here. Two Tone's done a great job. You've done a great fucking job. Jack O'Hara's done a great job. I think those are the big dogs right now.
Probably. Jack's really good, dude.
Those 3 I think are the guys that are really, really doing a good job out here right now.
I'm just a fan of Jack O'Hara too.
I think he's a fantastic interviewer. Yep. Somebody that he's like a network interviewer to me.
Yeah, he is for sure. You can see that dude on TV one day, doing interviews or some shit like that.
I'm too same. You can't control me like that.
Yeah.
He's somebody that I feel, not that I don't want to say control. He's somebody that has that talent that he can go do that though.
Yeah, well, he fits into the box and could be on TV doing that shit.
For sure.
I'm too rough for TV and all that shit.
That's his lane.
Yeah, 100%.
And he has the face for it too.
I love Robles, dude. Thank you for coming here. We're gonna have to do a rerun on next year to check on everything you do. But I'm
gonna have you on my show
for sure. And I'm very, very grateful that you gave me the time to do this, dude. So shout out to give one little shout out to your last sponsors here, bro.
All right, guys. You guys can find me at the Matty Ice Show on Instagram. You can follow me on YouTube. Subscribe, Matty Ice Show on YouTube. If you are in the club, make sure you're popping Bel Air. If you're at home, make sure you're busting out the bottles of Bel Air. And I always shout out my family at Maybach Music, Rick Ross, Attica Music, Bel Air, and then Roll Call with Chappy. Great platform here. And let's go.
There we go. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Roll Call with Chappy. Crush this week.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe wherever you get your podcast and leave us some feedback. We would love to know what you think. You can find everything discussed in this episode and more in our show notes below or petermeyerhoff.com. I am Peter Meyerhoff, and you've been listening to the Roll Call with Chappy podcast.